there's a lot of people who think that doing a lot of Facebook Lives and a lot of blog posts and podcasts and all of this, they think that by doing all of this, that they're adding value and helping lots of people. But quite often the people who are really famous and really social and doing all of this stuff, they're not actually helping their customers. Because that energy, if you've got customers, then your energy can go on making a lot of noise on the internet, or it can go to helping your customers. And if someone's really making a lot of noise, then they're probably not helping their customers a lot. And that's how it happens. And I think the best thing to do is to help your customers, and then they get lots of results, and then they make a lot of noise for you on the internet. And so we achieve the same goal, but through a different path. And one makes a lot more sense to me than the other. So I don't really care about being a big social famous person on the internet, because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, the most important thing is, are your customers getting results? And are the results that they're getting bigger than the results that other people are getting? And if that's true, then you will win. And so then that's all that really matters. Fernando Sintra says, at what point did you decide to use Instagram as part of your marketing strategy? Well, I only used Instagram starting this year, like January 2018. No kidding, you can look back at my first ever post and you'll see it occurred in that date. And I didn't do it up until that point because there was more important things to be done. If I have to make a decision like hiring people, like building systems, creating a good product, like creating good customer support, and improving my funnel and my conversion rates and driving more traffic through paid advertising and tuning my business, if I have to choose between doing this or being on social media or being on Instagram, I choose this every single time. So I didn't touch Instagram until all of this was fully handled by other people and systems and processes and all of that. And then in January this year, I'd hired quite a lot of people and we had systems down and people covering all of those spaces. So it was okay to add on another thing. And then also we were only really selling one product, like Consulting Accelerator. And then I only started doing up level recently because, I had to make sure we were fully covered on everything before we could add another piece. And what I noticed that most people do is they try to do everything like at the start, and you just can't. It's like impossible. You can't post on your Facebook fan page, your personal Facebook page. You can't have a blog and then also participate in groups and do Facebook Lives, and then be on Instagram doing Instagram posts and Instagram stories, replying to DMs, replying to Facebook messages, and then doing some tweets, and then, God forbid, if you have Snapchat or something, and then a podcast, and then a YouTube channel. And like that's not, if you do those things, you're not going to have a business. You're just going to have a lot of social media stuff. And you need I can tell you that working on the business is much more important than working on the social media stuff. What you'll notice is that, and this is a fascinating thing to look at, whenever you want to understand something, you look at the extremes and the people who have really taken the thing to the nth degree, because those people have taken this method and just stretched the hell out of it. And you want to see what happens when they do that, and that's very telling of what will happen. And so if you look at social media and you look at the people that have taken it to the extremes, like Kardashians, or like Casey Neistat, that guy on YouTube, like that Casey Neistat dude, he doesn't really have a business. His business really is just his social media. And, I think even someone told me that he's tried to start some businesses and they haven't really worked. It's quite easy to think why that might occur, because all of his time is spent managing this beast over here, not building things. And then if you look at the people who have built really big things, they didn't spend their time on social media. So it's very telling. People who build big things don't use social media. People who build big social media followings don't build things. So if you want to build a thing, then you should build a thing instead of building a social media presence. That's how I figured that. And that's how I've built my business, by focusing on building the business, not the social media following. However, it's still important to have somewhat of a presence, like just a tiny one, so that people can find out that you exist. But you should just delete the Instagram app off your phone, delete the Snapchat app, delete all the social media apps off your phone, and just focus on solving a problem for a market, getting them really good results. And if you do that, then that's all that really matters, and the other stuff will fix itself. Jen Thackeray said, it's harming our brains. Studies have shown that too much social media is definitely changing us and not for the good. Yeah, that is true. It really is just completely fucking with everyone's brains. And what it's doing is making people addicted to instant gratification. Because if you take an action and then there is feedback really fast from that action that you just took, then it makes you really addicted to taking that action. And like, that's why drugs are addictive, because you do a drug and then bam, it just hits you, and then there is very noticeable feedback very quickly after taking that action. So it creates this behavioral loop where you're like, oh, do this, get that fast. And that's what social media is like hooking people onto. It's like, check this news feed and have some sort of entertainment, or like post this thing, get people to like it really quickly. And it's basically getting people, hooked on instant gratification. But most things in life, most meaningful things, are not instant. They're long term. And so, like, for example, being healthy and fit, that is so not instant gratification. You have to take actions today that are quite painful, and you don't get the reward for a long time, years. That there is like, that's the opposite of instant gratification. Same with starting a business. You've got to learn a lot of stuff, you've got to dedicate a lot of time, you've got to put a lot of effort in, and the feedback you get from those efforts is like later on in the future. And so, like, all of these things that are constructive and build things and make you better and, help other people with all this stuff, they're all long-term things. And you can't possibly do a long-term thing when you're addicted to short-term instant gratification. And so that's why it's screwing with people. And that's why I don't have any of it on my phone at all. It's just deleted. And I rarely check social media at all. I only do it because the market wants me to do it. If they didn't, I wouldn't.